you have a framework around this embodiment. Can you help us think about this? Give us a framework for hope and some guidance here. I believe it's possible, but we need some guides.
In my work and in the book, I talk about this concept of transformational characters, which is a
Yeah,
borrowed from family systems work. But I'm talking about all of us that are trying, which I imagine are a lot of the people that are listening to your podcast right now. It's
for
like
sure.
people that are trying to figure out their own healing and transformation, how they contribute in meaningful ways to the world and the healing and transformation of the world. And I set the bar in a way both very low and very high. And that, the book is about and my work is about everyone who is trying. That's it. And that's in a way a low bar, but it's also a very high bar. Like people
Yeah.
who are really trying and grappling and are willing to do the work, so to speak. And so when you talk about that perfection, I'm like, yeah, I want to break up with that altogether. I want to break up with this idea that we're gonna be perfect or we always have to be kind of good people all the time. I think a lot of the challenges we're facing right now is that people can't really understand that we're complex beings all the time.
Yeah.
We are not going to get through this life. Yes, we strive and we do and we try to align, but if we have this idea that we're kind of perpetually good all the time, it's going to trap us and keep us from being actually accountable where we need to be accountable
Mhm.
and unable to change where we need to change. We are people who are in process, and that is so, so, so important. And that to me is what embodiment is about. It kind of softens our relationship to our own bodies. It says the body and my being is not just I don't just relate to myself through control. I got to be good enough. I got to look good enough. I got to be better. Or somebody wants me to be like this, or my parents told me I had to act like this. A lot of us approach ourselves with this kind of stifling, controlling. We often use shame and all these ways we punish ourselves to get back in line. And what I'm trying to say is, I think if we approach ourselves with curiosity, with listening, that's
Mhm.
actually the root of healing, of growing, of maturation, of all of these capacities that I think are desperately needed today. It comes from relating to ourselves, our own emotional lives, our expression, in a much more curious, listening way. And so that's really where I began embodiment. But embodiment to me is being rooted in the seat of yourself. It's living from yourself. It's being able to feel your life, experience your life, and live your life in a way that aligns with what you deeply believe and long for. And that increases your sensitivity. You can feel more of it. And it means that you have to practice the things that you want to do and unlearn some of the things that you learned through your family and their own kind of trauma adaptive practices. You have to unlearn some of that, unlearn some of the societal beliefs about how we should relate to each other and start to practice something else, which requires not just your thinking, but that your body do something different too.